Chat, lock in. We are officially about 16 days away from the Nintendo Switch 2 launch. Now, what made me want to make this random video? It's the fact that I'm checking my Walmart app every single day. I don't know about you guys, but I'm checking it every single day to make sure that my pre-order has not been canceled. Now, I've never pre-ordered a console that's brand new at Walmart. I've never used Walmart for any pre-orders. And the main reason for that is, one, typically I don't get the pre-order. And two, I hear a lot of bad things about Walmart always canceling people's pre-orders. But this time around, it was the only place that I managed to snag a pre-order for the Nintendo Switch 2. So it's locked in. We're ready to go. And I wanted to talk about my personal 3 top favorite experiences on the Nintendo Switch. Now, there's been a ton of incredible experiences, but I just personally never got the opportunity to play them. 1, maybe it was money. 2, maybe I just didn't have the time. And 3, I probably just didn't prioritize finishing games, which is something I've done in the past. I picked up the Nintendo Switch at launch, though it wasn't on the exact same day it launched. It was actually about a month later, because if you were there at launch of the Nintendo Switch, dude, we cannot get the system in hands. Like it wasn't a thing of scalpers. Like scalpers got bad during like the PlayStation 5 era. Everybody wanted a Nintendo Switch. It was so hard. I remember calling Targets, lining up at Targets before they opened, and bomb rushing the technology section so I can find a Nintendo Switch. Anyways, one morning I got it. It was like 7 a.m. or something before work. Greatest day of my life. And I picked up 2 games. It was Mario Kart and Breath of the Wild. And this is in no particular order. It's kind of hard to really place these at a certain level, because they've all, to me, been some of my favorite experiences on the Switch. And to start this list off, we're going to be talking about Zelda Breath of the Wild. If you picked up the Switch during that era, loaded up Breath of the Wild, and you got to the part in the trailer where you walk into the open world for the very first time, that's the feel. I haven't been able to replicate that feeling since. I was locked in, bro. I literally, playing that moment, I had goosebumps. And I don't remember the last time I played a game that gave me goosebumps, unless it was like The Last of Us or, God of War. I don't remember the last time I got goosebumps from a Nintendo game. It was such a beautiful experience. To me, it was almost magical. Not everybody's gonna have the same take, and that's okay. But for those that understand that feeling, then you'll know what I'm saying. Breath of the Wild was such an incredible game. First open world Zelda, and it really changed the Zelda landscape. Some might say for good, some might say for bad. I think it changed it for a positive tone, leading us into Tears of the Kingdom, which is another, notable mention. I personally would rank Breath of the Wild a little higher than Tears of the Kingdom, because though they did build on top of what they made on Breath of the Wild, it just didn't blow me away in the same way. Not because it didn't advance as it should have, but mostly because we had just never gotten anything like Breath of the Wild before. And that switch, that jump was so massive that I think Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite experiences on the Nintendo Switch. Now, moving on to my next favorite experience of the Nintendo Switch. Of course, you got to give it to Mario Odyssey. And now, this is a sealed version, because my original version I had to sell off a while back. If you've lived in the struggle, you understand that statement. But Mario Odyssey, look, it is one of my favorite Mario games since Mario 64. Mario 64 was, dude, I can't even begin to explain to you guys the impact that Mario 64 had in my life, right? These are the building blocks that have led me to, to this nerd cave, to making videos on YouTube, to my career of being a content creator. I genuinely think if I never played Mario 64, I wouldn't do what I do for a living nowadays. And no, I don't make any money off of me making my own videos. I make videos for other people. But if it wasn't for one of those building blocks, I would not be here today. Mario 64 is one of the greatest of all time. But how did Mario Odyssey beat that, bro? If you played Mario Odyssey when it first came out, you understand that we had been missing this, right? To me, Mario Odyssey is probably the best platformer of all time and one of my personal favorites. I'm gonna glaze it, right? The music, epic. The gameplay was just phenomenal. It was addicting almost, right? The levels were so beautifully crafted, from the music to the themes. It was just from beginning to end was such a great experience. And I really wish that I could re-experience Mario Odyssey for the very first time. If you haven't, for whatever reason, played Mario Odyssey, please wait till the Switch 2 and then play it. Hopefully, I'm not sure if they're gonna do a graphical like boost on this. I hope they do, because this is probably one of the best games within the last 10 years to come out. And now, one game that I actually don't have in hand made a big impact when I first played it. I had never played anything like it. And again, this is just a personal tier list. I'm gonna say Splatoon. Dude, I had never played anything like Splatoon in my life, and I know there were other Splatoon games in the past, but when I played Splatoon for the Nintendo Switch, I was hooked, like insanely hooked. I at one point I had the Splatoon Switch, and the amount of hours that I put into Splatoon online was crazy, bro. And this is coming from like an Xbox Live gamer where I would play nothing but Halo and Gears of War, Call of Duty. Like that was my online peak, and that's all I wanted to play. Splatoon came out and I was obsessed. The colors, the sounds, the music, the gameplay was so unique. I had never played anything like it. And that's why I think Splatoon is one of my personal favorite franchises from Nintendo, but also one of my favorite games on the Nintendo Switch. Even though I didn't experience a lot of games on the Switch. Okay, so I mentioned my favorite games and my favorite experiences on the Switch for this generation. I know we talked about the good in this video, but I wanted to just mention one disappointment that I've had with the Nintendo Switch and the game lineup. I know I haven't experienced everything, but I was looking forward to a shift in the Pokemon games. I was expecting the Pokemon games to be reinvented, reimagined, and given a sort of refresh that was worthy of a console like the Switch, right? Just like they did with Mario Odyssey, or just like they did with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, right? Reinventing these classic games and creating something that felt new, right? New and good. And I wanted the Pokemon games to do that. And even though they sort of did, I think it was just extremely lackluster, and I think they all kind of felt like cash grabs, right? Like they knew we were gonna come out, buy these games, and not care about the quality and the level of rework and reimagination that went into games like Mario Odyssey. And to me, I was disappointed. And I know there's a new one coming out as well, and to me, it doesn't look good. I don't know what it is. Is it because it's open world that is just not hitting? You know, if they went to the exact same layout of the way the game is as before instead of the open world, I think that would even hit better than this open world thing. I don't know what it is, but I was disappointed in the Pokemon games this generation. I just couldn't get into them, even though I love Pokemon games. I love Pokemon games so much that I even went and bought an analog so I could play my Pokemon cartridges. And, you know, if I could have this on the Nintendo Switch, fantastic. Be game over. So that's my list. those are my favorite experiences. This is my biggest disappointment. I'm curious. What are your top 3 most important experiences that you've got to experience on the Nintendo Switch? What was your biggest disappointment? And what are you looking for the Nintendo Switch 2 that's coming out in 16 days? 16 days is insane. It's literally almost here. I will be having an unboxing, a ton of content on the Switch 2. So if you have any questions, looking forward to anything, let me know down in the comments below. No, I'm not turning into a Nintendo channel, but it's going to get heavy in here. All right. So I appreciate you watching. With that said, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye.